Good evening. Welcome to New Horizons. If you have a mobile phone, if you'd like to put it on silent, please. Thank you. Tonight, massive welcome back to Kathy Rowan with Astro Angels amongst us. Tonight, Kathy, a lecturer, professional astrologer and organiser and performer in burlesque shows and more, describes the link between astrology and angelic forces and how ultimately they may link with us. Kathy runs various courses locally, details available from her website, which is alltheW's.rowanwicker.moonfruit.com. She has appeared on Radio Lancashire and Sky TV. Please welcome Kathy Rowan.
Well, thank you all very much for coming out tonight. Who saw the moon on the way here? Isn't it magnificent? I want to talk to you a little bit about that moon first of all, because it's particularly important, this full moon. It will be exactly full on Wednesday, and this full moon is in fact an eclipse, and it's a total eclipse, so that makes it rather special. The sun will be at 15 degrees of Aries, and the moon will be at 15 degrees of Libra, and the moon will be in front of the sun. So can you see this? This is the moon, this is the sun, and this is what's going on. Now every month this kind of happens, and we call it a full moon. But when it's exact and you can't see anything, then it is an eclipse. So things are perfectly aligned, and it's that alignment that is special. This eclipse that's happening won't have happened for 19 years. So if you cast your mind back 19 years and think about what was going on at that time in your life, that will have a resonance with the energy of this full moon and this eclipse in your life. If you're an Aries or a Libran, it will be particularly important. And even if you're not an Aries or a Libran, it is still very important because it's exactly aligned. So this is what in astrology we would call an important alignment. In the heavens, the sun represents the sun god and the moon represents the moon goddess. And when they come together like this, it's the celestial marriage. But the energy of an eclipse says that one is overpowering the other in this relationship, and it's the moon that is hiding away the sun at this time. So this is about feminine energies coming to the fore, and by feminine energies I mean our intuition and our instincts. So it's a very psychic and special time, this full moon, for all of us. And we can work with this energy and take advantage of this energy if we're aware of it. And what this eclipse is all about is letting go of the past. And so for each of us, in some area of our life, there will be something that we need to let go of, something that we need to identify and let go of willingly. So it's quite a dramatic time, and for some, even a traumatic time. It's a major time of change. And this is a time where doors close and things come to a close, and sometimes we find that difficult, especially the fixed signs amongst us. And by that, I mean Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius. The cardinal signs, Aries, Libra, Cancer and Capricorn, are always keen to be moving on, getting on with the next thing. And so they will be keen to start up new projects at this time, tending to think more about the future than the past. And the signs that I haven't mentioned, they are the mutable signs, and they are the people that can go with the flow and adapt quite well, whatever life throws at them. So wherever you find yourself amongst that circle of life, this important time will have an impact on you. Now, I scribbled out, but this eclipse will affect us all, as I've said, And there's a particular energy to each eclipse. And this eclipse falls exactly on the place where the sun was when I was born. So it kind of makes sense to me that I'm here talking to you all about it, because it resonates with me personally, as well as other people and clients that I have and all of you. So thanks to you, I got to find out exactly what this eclipse is all about, more than I normally would do, because it's a case of the cobbler's children not having any shoes. The last thing that I would do is look at this properly for myself, because I'm busy looking for everybody else. Every degree of the zodiac has its own special energy, and there are symbols associated with each of the degrees. And so by looking to see what degree this eclipse was falling at in the sky, what degree it will occur, I'm able to look and see about the symbol that goes with it and what it means. And it will have meaning to all of us in some area of our life. This is how the symbol goes. So this is the picture to paint in your mind. After the storms of winter, a boat landing stands in need of reconstruction. So this is describing a scene where there have been storms and there has been chaos and destruction, and the boat in which people have been travelling is now shored, and it needs fixing up, it needs repairing, so that it can brave the seas again. And this is the energy of this eclipse, the eclipse that's happening on Wednesday. There will be areas in all of our lives where we feel that we've taken a bit of a battering. The storms often represent, because water's involved, the emotions. So whatever areas in your life that you feel you've taken a battering and things could do with healing and restoring and recovering, now is the time to embrace the energy of this eclipse and welcome in that healing energy that it will bring. So it's a very healing time and transformative time. We wouldn't expect the healing to happen overnight. We would expect it to take the course of the year, because the energy of this eclipse will be with us for at least a year. So some time and some dedication to getting yourself all better, and to getting whatever area of your life fully recovered that you feel is necessary is a good idea. We're thinking about reconstruction and rebuilding, and at the moment Mercury is retrograde in the sky, and that means that the planet Mercury appears to be going backwards in the sky. It does this 3 times a year. And when that's happening, it's a time for communication being confused and phone calls going astray, and cars and technology and computers and people all being bewildered and confused, and it's a right old mess, really. So what we normally try to do in our solar society is push ahead all of the time, be productive all of the time. But when Mercury is retrograde, it's a time for us to reflect and to reconsider and to go back over things, to revise and relearn. So it fits in very nicely with the energy of this eclipse that we should do these things, that we should rebuild, reconstruct and rethink. So I hope that that is a little bit helpful to you, both in terms of this tremendous time of change that we've got going on this week, and also this period of Mercury being retrograde. My advice to you is not to buy any major things, which is funny because I'm moving house and I've got loads of major things to buy, but I hope to be recycling and buying a lot of things like that to fit in with this energy, and also because I like old things. This week is a week when we have to have faith, and a good time to talk to you about angels and astrology is this week, because it's a time in which people may be feeling a little worn out and a little battered and bruised, like I was saying, with this energy knocking about. And it's good to remind ourselves that we're not alone and that there is a bigger picture. So this rather fetching picture up here, Astro Angels. We'll see how I get on working this technology. Having told you that it's not a good time for technology, I'm completely off the hook if it doesn't go very well, aren't I? Astrologers are renowned for this kind of thing, blaming Mercury retrograde. In actual fact, I'll tell you a secret. I used to work for this telephone company, you know, where you ring up and you talk to a psychic. And I was working for them as an astrologer and tarot reader. And we were told that when the computer played up and when the technology played up, to say that Mercury was retrograde, whether it was or it wasn't. Not very good that, is it? Oh, that's good. So, I haven't really got a proper plan of what to do. I've got a kind of a vague plan of what to do, so we'll see how this goes. And later on I'll ask for questions, and then you can ask about whatever it is, the real reason that you came tonight. This starts off with this lovely picture of the Tree of Life, a lovely Celtic picture. And it says, as above, so below, which is kind of how I believe the universe works. That all of the planets in the heavens are telling a story as they move around in their orbit, and they affect us. Science has proven now that we are all affected by the moon's energy, and as science and so on, these people investigate more, they come up with more and more stuff that proves all the stuff that you already know, don't they? Oh. So here we have a picture of the Jewish Tree of Life, known as the Kabbalah. So previously, see if I can do this. I can. We had the Celtic one, and here's the Jewish one. And basically, all cultures have their own idea of a tree of life, a tree that connects the heavens to the earth. And within it, the circles symbolise fruit on the tree, all the different areas of life. This method of looking at the universe is a spiritual system used by the Jewish people in history, but also used by all manner of spiritual people. It isn't a religion, it's a system that we can all use. And through learning about the Tree of Life, I learned more about the angels. Now, we've all heard of angels from being children, whatever your background, you know, nobody escapes, do they? But when I was a little girl, I was brought up as a Catholic, and so angels had their place in that religious system. And I was brought up to believe in the idea of a guardian angel. And in fact, I still do believe in the idea of a guardian angel. But nothing much was made of the other angels in the Bible or the religious system that I was brought up in. A little bit of mention was made of Michael, who is the most famous, I think, of the angels, and Gabriel. I think these are the two that crop up the most in the Bible. So I had a bit of an awareness of them too, Gabriel as a messenger, and Michael with his big sword, and that was about it, really. And because I associated angels and angelic experience with Catholicism and a religion that didn't suit me, I didn't want to know anything about angels when later they cropped up in paganism. So much later I was at pagan conferences and gatherings, witchy gatherings. People would talk about using the Kabbalah in magic, and angels and crosses and all this kind of kit and caboodle, and I thought, this is not for me, I don't like the sound of that. And generally in life, whenever I've thought to myself, I don't like the sound of that, that's usually the thing that I end up doing unintentionally, find myself back there. And I think that this is kind of a way of the universe having a bit of a laugh. You might have experienced this. there's nothing like the utter conviction that this is not going to work for you to find yourself doing it again somehow. So there I was as a grown-up and having chosen my own path, blah-de-blah. And one of my teachers that I respected a lot said, I'm going to teach people about the tree of life. Why don't you come along? And I thought, well, I'll see if I like it. And this started a love-hate relationship with the Kabbalah that's lasted many years. In fact, maybe 25 years or something like that, a long time. And sometimes I'm in love with it, and sometimes I'm not in love with it. These days I'm more in love with it for longer periods, and then occasionally I fall out with it, but I'm like that. It's not particularly an Aries thing. I'm not taking you all down with me. I'm just like that. So this picture that you're looking at, I can see it here. It's a very good system. I'm not used to this. And I think there's a pointy thing on here. Let me have a go. Oh, this is good. So let me point to something, a reason to use it. There we are, that's Malkuth down the bottom. I can't look at you and look at that and stay still. That's what I've just learned. I'm kind of anywhere. So the different spheres are associated with different qualities within our personality. For example, the bit of you that is ambitious, the bit of you that is confident, the bit of you that is romantic or businesslike or dreamy or whatever. They're all different aspects that make up your personality. And these different spheres represent all the different aspects of all of our personalities. And some of us will have more of one area, and some of us will have more of another area. For example, some of you will be more sporty, other people will be more couchy. Here we have... Ooh. That's Hod, and that's the bookie place. So some of you will like reading and doing bookie stuff. The Hod area, especially associated with Gemini and Virgo. That area, Netzarch, the green area, that is about nature and being out in nature and doing those things like camping and loving animals and all those kind of things. And in some people, they have an equal balance of these two qualities. But in most people, one will be stronger than the other. One side of their personality will be stronger than the other. That little dark red area, Gabora, that is about energy and aggression and assertion, and it's like a warrior area. That area is Chesed. That is about confidence and teaching and generosity, like the benefactors that we had in the Victorian times that would start up libraries and stuff like that for the good of the people. And again, different qualities, different types of people. And amongst us all, there will be a little bit from every area, and some areas will be very well developed. So I started learning about all this stuff. And I was particularly interested in how it related to astrology and the different signs of the zodiac. As I've said to you, this area is associated with Gemini and Virgo because they're bookie people. So I wanted to make a study of the different areas in the tree and how they affect different people. And I was coming at it very much from an intellectual point of view and thought, if I study this and go to the right people, the experts in the field, then I will be able to learn all about the mystical side of astrology, which is what I wanted to do. However, to learn about the tree of life and to learn about anything spiritual, you can't just do it from books, can you? And so my teachers encouraged me to meditate on the different spheres and work with the angels, grown, of the different areas, and there was no getting out of it. If I wanted to learn things to a high level, that's what I had to do. And I had to produce notes every day to show that I had done. So, you know, there was no glossing over it. So then I started working with what I would call the energies on the tree. And these are the different angels, archangels, that relate to the different areas. And through working with them, I discovered that there were links between the different angels on the tree and the different astrological types and the lessons that we need to learn as individuals. So I'm not going to keep talking now. I can't see what the time is. Is it about 22? Yeah. Great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little meditation with you, and this is an evil idea that I had just now, because I know that if I say, and after break we're going to do a meditation, lots of people sneak out the door. And because you might have wanted to sneak out the door, I'm going to make it a dead easy one and not very long, okay? Because I have got a heart, but because I want to take advantage of my captive audience, I'm going to do it now anyway. So all I would like you to do is put your feet flat on the ground rather than having crossed knees. And put your hands on your knees. It can be down on your knees to make a closed circuit, or your hands can be up if you wish, whichever is more comfortable to you. And I would just like you to relax as much as it is possible in a hard chair. And I would like you to be aware of your breath, breathing in the energy of the beautiful full moon, and breathing out the tension and stress of the day. Breathing in the energy of the beautiful full moon, and breathing out the stresses and tension of the day. And feel around your body a cloak of protection, beautiful, heavy, thick velvet cloak wrapped around you, keeping you safe, protecting you and covering you, so as you can relax deeper into the chair, breathing in the magical energy of the white light, breathing out the tensions and stresses of the day. And I would like you to imagine yourself in a beautiful silver landscape. Everything that you can see for all around is silver in colour, many shades of silver. And you walk around in this magical landscape. You feel the earth beneath your feet, but you are light and formless, and you can float. You can dance through the air. You can spin and fly. You can drift and dream. And as you look around in this wonderful, magical landscape, you see coming towards you from the distance a magnificent silver being, tall and awesome in appearance. Moving towards you, a magnificent archangel. You can see the angel clearly now, and you feel its incredible energy pouring through you, healing and invigorating you. You look into the eyes, and you see a being that is timeless and ageless, full of compassion and full of wisdom. With the wings around you, you feel safe. In this special moment, you look into one another's eyes. Something is transmitted to you, something that touches your heart, something that vibrates at a deep soul level. It is a time of endings and beginnings, but you know that you are perfectly safe, you are protected, and you are filled with this magical, wise energy. You bask in the energy. Information may be given to you. Healing may be given to you. Enjoy the experience for a few moments. You feel stronger and calmer. You have been given a gift. It may be something that you saw, something that you heard, or perhaps a seed has been planted in your heart that will grow and blossom as the months pass. Say thank you for the gift, whether you understand it or not. The great wings sweep away, and you know that it is time to work your way back to the chair. 10, 9, 8, and the scene starts to fade. 7, 6, 5, and you are back in your normal surroundings. 4, 3, 2, and you are well, and you are happy within yourself. 1, and you're completely back. When you feel ready, open your eyes and welcome back. Now there's lots of people here, isn't there? Who would like to share their experience? Yes?
One word, conflagration.
That's a big word. I don't even know what that word means.
Fire.
Fire.
Explosion.
Right. Anybody else? Yeah?
It's interesting what you said about fire, because I thought I felt like a just so hot, like a glowing ball of fire all around me.
So you felt intense heat? Yeah. Yes?
Well, I felt like I've been given love
Yeah.
a lot of time.
That's really nice. Good.
It actually made me cry.
That's lovely. Good.
I had the word love as I was there. I could see the angel flying and you just said it all.
Yeah. Good. Anybody else? Yeah.
I got healing at first, and so all the green healing, and then I got unconditional love and the forgiveness of God.
Lovely. Good. Good. So lots of healing and warmth. Good vibrations, really. Good. Well, how do I follow that? I don't really.
We can break now if you want.
Yeah, we'll break and then we'll come back to thinking stuff because I feel a little bit spaced out, but I won't feel a little bit spaced out when I've had some caffeine. So I'll see you after the break. Have you had a nice break? I had a nice break. The biscuits here are superior to the biscuits at Preston New Horizons. And this is why you have such a good turnout. So, do you remember I was talking about different parts of your personality and the tree a little bit? And these different areas of life, all of life is divided up into these 10 different areas, and in astrology we would associate this with the 10 planets. So, for example, that area there, Tippereth, in the centre, The yellow area we would associate with the sun, which is at the centre of our solar system. That area is about courage and confidence, and in our bodies it's about the heart. And in astrology, all of these things are interlinked. So the different correspondences that we would associate with the sign of Leo, the planet, the sun, the heart in our body, and this area on the tree of life. And the archangel that is associated with this area is the Archangel Raphael, fire healer, some of whom you may have experienced his energy in the pathworking that we just did. Pathworking's kind of a pagan word for meditation, the guided meditation that we did. And he heals through heat and fire and love. And all of the angels and the archangels work through love. So this shows the same tree in a less colourful, more simple kind of way. And it shows the association of the different planets with the different parts of the tree, and the different planets with ourselves. And each of these planets has a corresponding archangel that looks after that area of life and that area of our personality. And as the different spheres on the tree, the fruit on the tree, is associated with different planets, so the planets are associated with different signs of the zodiac. And so there is a direct correspondence between the different sides of the zodiac and the different angels. And the angels are obviously all kind and good, but they are not the romanticised fairy tale images of Victorian times. They are beings of light and energy and power. And so some people would call them angels because that is their system of belief, you know, the way that they label those experiences. But other people might call them aliens because they are simply beings that are non-human beings that we encounter. And when we encounter them, we will, depending on our own experience of life and our own expectations, label them accordingly. So I find this quite an interesting thing. And I encountered it on reading a book about the Virgin Mary and astrology, actually, where people around the world have had different experiences of a visitation from the Virgin Mary. Some would say that they had seen the Virgin Mary, others would say that they'd seen a goddess of that place or an angel of that place. And if they were non-religious people, they may call the feminine non-human being an alien. So it's just something for you to ponder, that we label things according to our own perception, our own understanding. And I'm wandering off the point, really, but it's just something that I find interesting. So the point here is meant to be about planets and signs and angels. So, what is that about? That is about, we'll go back a bit. Wow, I'm loving my little gadget here. This area, nearest to our planet. Yeah, this is like the starting place. So I live in Blackpool. Some of you might live in Blackpool. If we want to go anywhere, we have to go to Preston first. That's where, you know, you catch a train to Preston and then you start your journey. So this is like the cosmic Preston. Don't quote me on that. This is where we start. This is the starting block. So this is the place that is closest to the energy that we are used to here on Earth. So I suppose in terms of astral levels, it would be the one closest to us. And this area, the archangel that hangs out here is called Sandalphon. Now, different people pronounce angels' names differently and pronounce Hebrew differently. So you may have heard it pronounced in a different way, but they don't mind, these archangels, how you pronounce their name. It's what's in your heart that's important. So this Archangel is our accident and emergency Archangel. In other words, when you go to accident and emergency, you see a receptionist there. It doesn't matter what's wrong with you. You see that receptionist and you tell them what's up, don't you? And then they decide who to refer you to, hopefully with not a very long wait. So Sandalphon is the Archangel. He's like the cosmic receptionist, the first one that you will meet, the one that will refer you and your problems or the guidance that you're looking for to the others. So if you like what I talked to you about tonight and you don't want to study, then that's cool. All you need to remember is this one, Sandalphon, because if you go to Sandalphon in your imagination or in your prayers, or you light a candle, he will take your problem to the expert in the field that you require. So that's a good friend to have, a good archangel to know. And also, traditionally, he is described as pretty cute, so you'll like that. So there in some fancy script is his name. And here, if you are a note taker, you'll want to be scribbling this away, and if you're not a note taker, you'll just think about your own sign. And this shows the different angels and the different signs that they are associated with. Now, some of you who've studied astrology will realise that there's more to astrology than just your sun sign. Just the sign that you would say to somebody at a party, oh, I'm this sign or I'm that sign, if this was the 1970s. The sun was in the sign that you know about. The moon might have been in the same sign, but it might have been in any of those 12 signs when you were born. That's something that you could look up or find out from an astrologer or find out from your computer by looking on the internet. There's a very good astrology website called astro.com, which is free and has loads of information on it, and that's the kind of thing you could find out on there. So your moon sign is just as important as your sun sign, and so is your rising sign. These three things are the building blocks of astrology and the mainstream of your personality. I would say about 70% of what we would know about you, we would know by understanding those three things. So the relevance of that in what I'm talking about is it might give you three different specialist archangels that particularly are interested in the same things as you. However, not everybody has got a different rising sign and moon sign. Some people might have two the same or even three the same. But if you've got all three the same, we will definitely know it, because if you had all three the same, you would be a textbook example of your sign. You would be like a cartoon version of your sign. And I've met one or two people that have got all three, and they're not Aries or Taurus. They are Aries in your face or Taurus in your face. So you would soon know if you had a load of planets in the same sign. Most of us are more diverse in our makeup than that. So we have different archangels, different signs of the zodiac, and this is where we start. So we had a few Aries. We'll whiz over Libra when we get to Libra, yeah, because we're not too bothered about them, because they're not here. This is an artist's impression, obviously, of this archangel. I've picked out the pictures that I like. They appear to us differently, and I mean different to each individual. Our own experience when we meditate, meet these beings, is individual according to our own personalities. So don't be concerned if you were to encounter an archangel who said that their name was, for example, Camiel. and they happen to be wearing blue and dressed in a Greek fashion or a Celtic fashion or in some other way, the appearance is not important. All that is important really is the energy that you are experiencing. This Archangel Camiel is pretty much a kick-ass angel. He is about energy and assertiveness and acting with courage and acting with confidence. These are areas particularly close to the heart of people born under the sign of Aries or with the moon in Aries or Aries rising, because from birth these are people that have had to fight for everything, and so they become skilled in this way, learning to fight, learning to stand up for themselves. They find that it's something that they're always dealing with. This is an archangel that is particularly good at helping them be assertive rather than aggressive, and to use that ability that they have to take on challenges in a positive way, to use that ability in a spiritual way. When I was growing up, I was taught that certain qualities were not good qualities and other qualities were good qualities. But I've since come to believe that all qualities used in the right way are positive. And for the sign of Aries, that they have this drive, that drive can be used in a very positive way. Also, where they're able to stand up for good causes and stand up for others, this is something that not everybody feels so well equipped to do. And so they're able to help others with this energy that they have and the drive. My personal experience of the Archangel Camiel is quite limited. I've encountered him in path workings and in meditation, but I have recommended him to other people who lack this drive and assertive energy themselves. So maybe I was full of myself already and didn't need so much help in this area, but I have friends that are different from me, and one of my friends was working with the energy of Archangel Camiel, meditating on him every day when he went out for a walk to get the paper, and managed to stop smoking, which is something that he'd battled with for a long time, found that increased willpower, and also managed to change the balance of his relationship, where he was with somebody who was overpowering him, really, rather a dominating partner. And when he reported this back to me, I was so thrilled about it that at the time I was on Radio Lancashire and I mentioned it. Now, this person that I'm telling you about lives hundreds of miles away, and just my luck that on that one day, the only time in 6 years of me being on the radio, him and his partner tuned in to listen. I wasn't very popular with his partner after that. But it showed in his personality that he was getting a lot more done and happier and more fulfilled in himself. And at the moment, he's been going through a difficult time with a schizophrenic son and, you know, some serious problems within the family. And again, Camiel has helped him build up his strength and help him not slip into depression, which is something that he struggles with normally. So a very powerful archangel to work with if you need to be more assertive or to find more drive to cope with life. And at the moment, with this full moon energy, we're all a bit knackered, so probably quite a good time. This very beautiful archangel, Haniel, one of the few archangels that is universally agreed to be female, feminine, said to be beautifully perfumed. So sometimes when times are difficult and when we're at a low ebb, we smell the smell of roses. And this is something that is strongly associated with this archangel. So if you've had that encounter, had that experience, it may be a visit from her and her very healing energy. She specialises in helping relationships, and especially with regards to animals and nature. So Taurus people are known, and this includes people with the moon in Taurus or Taurus rising, to be the salt of the earth, to be people that you can rely on and trust. And and they're also great nature lovers. They're hardworking people and responsible, generally caught up with making their way in the world and taking care of everybody with practical stuff. But something that's particularly good for their soul is to spend time in nature, to get away from the everyday stresses and strains and be amongst the trees and the animals. And she specialises in taking care of animals and plants and all these kind of things. So a close friend of mine who's very keen on animals and animals' welfare, one of these people that's always taking in the sick cats and dogs from the area, she knew about a dog that was being mistreated, and she's very feisty on this subject. You know, she had encountered these people and given them what for. It hadn't changed anything. And she's a witch, and she did a spell asking for Haniel to help. And really miracles happened, and very quickly the circumstances changed, things came good. So my experience and the experience of people that I know of working with archangels is amazing, and impossible things can sometimes happen. So if you have concerns about animals, relationships, children, even if you have a plant that is ailing and needs a bit of help, this is an archangel that is there that specialises in those areas. This is the Archangel Michael. Oh, it's okay. I thought I'd made a mistake for a minute, but I haven't. And this is a lovely picture by Briar. I don't know if you've seen her artwork. I think it's a she. It sounds like a she, doesn't it, Briar? But lovely pictures. This is the most famous of the lot, Archangel, possibly due to St. Michael, Marks and Spencer's, and we were all brought up with that. But I believe there are more place names in England of St. Michael than any other angel. Yeah, where was I going with that? A thought popped into my head and then it popped out again. Do you get that sometimes? Oh well, if it's important, it'll come back. Yes, so I have extensive experience of Archangel Michael in my life, because the person that taught me magic is somebody that worked very closely with this archangel. And so I would hear about him all of the time. And Michael favours groups that are learning magically and learning in general. So if you're studying for anything, reading and trying to understand, trying to develop yourself, which clearly, you know, you're coming to groups like this, you are, then he will particularly be keen to help you. And with a great big sword that you can see, this is about cutting through ignorance. He's very keen on the truth and for us to speak our truths. And often in our lives, it's difficult with this, especially when we are first coming into awareness that maybe we're a little bit different from the norm, and you want to speak out about what you believe in. People don't seem to understand, that kind of thing. This is an archangel that you will feel his presence by your side if you ask. All you have to do with these angels, archangels, is ask in your mind or ask out loud. and their presence is there. And this is something that I would say, don't take my word for it, just try it. And especially when you find yourself in a difficult situation, that's, I think, when you will experience their energy the strongest. I had a story that I tell people about Archangel Michael, is that I needed a book to study. I belonged to this group, the Society of Inner Light, where I was attempting to learn the astrological, magical secrets of the world, you know. They had this book that all the students should have, but it was very expensive. And all my money was taken up in going to their meetings, because their meetings were in London. So I couldn't see how I was going to be able to afford this book. And I thought, well, I've been working with these archangels for a long time. I'll just ask for Michael to sort it out, thinking to myself, and of course it's too trivial, and of course he won't do it, and things like that, negative things. So I did ask, and the next morning in the post came a blank cheque with a note from Archangel Michael, which is pretty unbelievable, but it really gave me a kick up the pants about being sceptical. And it turns out that a friend of mine in meditation had been told to send me this cheque because I needed it for a book. Quite remarkable. And that was just one of the experiences I had. I had quite a lot of experiences. And also when I'm teaching, like I teach tarot and astrology and witchcraft and different things over the years, whenever we do any meditation, and people haven't heard all this stuff, you know, about me, they're just coming to learn whatever it is they think that they're learning, astrology, for example. We do a meditation, and if there's any kind of angel that crops up, it's always this one. He's always there. So he's really keen to help learning groups. So if you're wanting to learn, and he's associated with Gemini because Gemini is about communication and learning, of course, then he's a good one to work with. Here we have Gabriel, associated with the sign of Cancer. And Gabriel in the Bible is known to be the archangel that brings messages of babies. Yeah, because he comes along and says something like, behold, you're going to have a baby, and things like that. So he brings good news and is associated with infants and children and birth. And this fits in beautifully with the sign of Cancer, which is the sign of the mother. It's about caring and protecting. So this archangel is wonderful if you are looking for some kind of guidance, some kind of sign in your life. If you want some evidence, somebody who is going to help speed up communication, say, for example, you're waiting for some business contract or a job or something like that, and you want communication to go smoothly and kindly, or if somebody is trying to conceive or has got women's problems, as they say, this is an archangel that particularly specializes in these areas of life. And very gently, he works very gently. So the intense heat that some of you were experiencing earlier, that's not his style. His style is much more subtle and gentle, but gentleness is not weakness. It's still very powerful. They are all quite amazing. Raphael, the archangel that I mentioned first of all, Ra for fire, and Heal, the fire healer of the zodiac, associated with the sign of Leo. Leos are leaders, as we know. Some do it loud and proud, and others do it more quietly. But nevertheless, they like to get people together and organize things, and generally they rise to the top in life. Raphael is also about rising to the top in life. He is about burning away any negativity, burning away any dis-ease disease and making us healthy and whole. So this is a very powerful archangel to ask to help you. I had a health problem for 12 years and was going to the doctor like more increasingly as the years passed because the problem was getting worse and I wasn't being heard. And although I was talking and the doctor was making noises back, nothing was really happening. And he really wasn't very interested in the problem and I was getting increasingly anxious about it. And it occurred to me in the waiting room that I should ask this archangel to help. They don't always help in a miraculous, like abracadabra kind of way. Often they work through the most immediate and obvious route. And that's what happened. I went into the doctor's and suddenly the doctor was different with me. There was no reason. The difference was that I'd asked for this help. And he listened to my problem, he put his pen down, took his glasses off, listened to me properly, called me by name, sent me to a specialist, I had an operation, I was completely better. I considered that to be quite a miracle under the circumstances. Ever since, whenever I see that doctor, I get the same treatment and have stayed with him, you know. And it was just like a magic wand. So I wasn't healed from the heavens and never had to go back to the doctor, but the doctor acted, I believe, under the influence of this angel and helped me tremendously. Now we have Archangel Michael again, because some of the angels share looking after the signs. So Michael is looking after Virgo and Gemini, and that's because Virgo and Gemini, or I believe this is because Virgo and Gemini are the bookworms of the zodiac. They are the learners. So who is he going to like the most? The ones that want to learn the most. Now, learning doesn't always come from books, does it? Information comes from books. Wisdom comes from experience. But very often our starting point is through books. And through books we meet a great deal of teachers that we can't always meet physically by reading their teachings. So it can be very informative and helpful and set us off in the right direction. But part of it, I believe, comes from the intellect, but also part of it comes from our intuition and instinct. Michael helps Virgo and Gemini with that shining fire sword that he has to give them extra confidence, extra intellectual confidence, because these two signs both suffer from a lack of confidence sometimes. So working with this archangel can be particularly helpful to them. And here we have Haniel, who smells of what? Roses. Roses. You're listening. And Haniel actually depicted in this picture in blue, although traditionally she is associated with amber. So if you think of amber-coloured roses, that is the classical description of what she looks like. Copper colour hair and amber, and this beautiful smell is associated with her. But blue is a colour associated with Libra and Taurus as well. It's always easy on the eye, isn't it? Blue. And indeed, she is easy on the eye and reminds us of the importance of relationships and getting along with other people. And for many of us, our life's lessons are in our relationships. And so if you're having relationship problems or would like a new relationship to come into your life, Haniel is a good person to work with, to ask for help. Especially at this eclipse. This is a rather romantic image of death that I was quite taken with. I always like a fit death. This Archangel Azrael from Darth, the sphere on the tree of life called Darth. This sphere is the hidden sphere. And Scorpio is about all things that are hidden. So Scorpio people have a part of their nature that they like to keep to themselves, that they like to keep safe from the outside world. Because they are very perceptive people, they realise from an early age that not everybody can be trusted. And so they learn to be a little bit cautious around these issues of trust and openness. If you are a Scorpio's close friend, then obviously that's a different matter. But generally speaking, they're quite private people. This Archangel Azrael is the Archangel of Death, and that sounds quite scary, doesn't it? And because it sounds quite scary, it is not widely known outside occult circles that this is the Archangel associated with this sign and this area. But this is the angel that specialises in helping us let go. And life is a series of letting go. It's an important thing for us to learn about. And through letting go, we make way in our life for better things. If our life is too cluttered, if our heads and our emotions are too cluttered, then we are unhappy within ourselves. We need a little bit of space within ourselves, space within our heads, so that we can move forward. And when we make space, that invites from the universe better things. So this is an excellent archangel to work with, because after an ending comes a beginning. And until we have that ending and embrace that ending, we can't move on. And sometimes people get stuck. And this is an archangel that will help clear the way and help us move on. So this is an excellent archangel to be thinking about over these next few days with this eclipse, to get rid of all the clutter and nonsense in our lives, focus on the important stuff and make a good, fresh start. Ezekiel is associated with the sign of Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is the sign of preachers and teachers. And the thing that they can teach us to do the most is have confidence and have faith in tomorrow, which is a wonderful thing. Sometimes too much Sagittarian zeal, they can get a bit too preachy and a bit too teachy and on their high horse, and that can be difficult for the listener more so than for them. So those are the two sides of this sign, known for their sense of humour and sense of fun. This is an archangel that helps us open up to abundance, all that there is on offer in the world, all that we can allow ourselves to receive. And I'm not just talking about material things. Many books have been written about abundance and cosmic ordering and all that kind of a thing, and a lot of it focusing on money and material goods. That is a part of it, but really it's about all the love in the world and sharing and caring for one another and working together and literally making the world a better place and being able to have faith and trust one another. So this is an archangel that is very helpful if you find those things difficult, or if you want to spread the word of what you're doing. If you're passionately involved in some spiritual area or educational area that's going to be good for others, that's going to help society, like groups like this, and you want to spread the word, this is the archangel to have on your letterhead. This is the archangel to work with so that you can share and spread the word. And also if you're doing work, for example, if you've got some website or healing or whatever, you want to spread the word so as it can help lots of people. This again is the archangel that can help you. Now, this archangel, Tzafkiel, very similar, to Zadkiel, isn't it? The names are very similar. Always causes confusion, that. But they are quite different, because this one, associated with the area on the tree of life called Bina in the sign of Capricorn. Capricorn is prudent. Sagittarius is known for being confident and outgoing. Capricorn is known for being reserved and thoughtful, practical, quite different. And this is an archangel that can help us when times are hard. The sign of Capricorn, people born under this sign, they always have to work hard. They always have some struggle in their life, maybe financial or maybe emotional when they're young, responsibilities on their shoulders. And so I think of the tortoise and the hare with the sign of Capricorn, and how they have to work and work to get to where they're going. But later in life, they find themselves in a secure situation. They've learnt their lessons. It's like they've done their time in the job of life, and they learn how to master things in their life, and they feel more content and are more fun-loving and get younger as they're older, though they start off quite old. This archangel is an archangel to work with, to learn those Capricorn qualities of patience and perseverance that help us when we have got difficult situations that we have to endure and overcome with persistence and responsibility. This archangel helped me. I was having some problems with my grown-up son, and he wasn't speaking to me and hadn't done for some years. And I was finding it very sad at this time in my life, and was feeling quite lonely. And I asked this archangel to help me understand, because this is an archangel that gives understanding, even in difficult situations, and helps with human suffering. Sometimes we have to go through things, don't we, to learn lessons. And this is an archangel that kind of makes you feel better with things that you can't change, with things that you have to accept. And that's what I got from that encounter. So it was very powerful. It doesn't sound like a very nice experience, does it? But it was a nice experience, and it did help me a lot. And these days, my relationship with my son is better, but I've come to accept that it will never be perfect. It is as it is, and I'm grateful for kind of the quality that I've got now. So in a dark time, this archangel was a great help to me, to give me some understanding and perspective on the situation. Ratziel, this is the archangel that I invoked with you earlier when we did that meditation, coming in silver. This archangel is quite close to the top of the tree for the tree of life, and the old Kabbalists would not think it was a good idea for people to be having an encounter with this archangel, but that's just nonsense, because they're all good and they're all here to help us, so we're not too bothered about the old Kabbalists. This is an archangel that brings change and new beginnings, so it's perfect for this energy. He is brave and even impetuous, you know. If you want to get something going and you think you can never do it, and it's too much and it's too hard, he will come along and is very powerful and dynamic, and will give you the strength and confidence to make things happen and to change things. In the Kabbalah, in the Tarot, it's like the tree of light, the lightning-struck tower, where there's a flash of lightning and everything changes. And recently we've had sheet lightning, and we've had changes across the country as the build up to this full moon, this eclipse that's coming. It's like the dramatic stuff that you get at the beginning of a movie saying, oh, something special's happening. And that is Raziel's energy. So you'll feel this full moon, you'll feel the build up to it. It's big in the sky, it's visible. People are talking on the internet about it's a blood moon, it's dramatic. They've got that idea that it's a dramatic time of change just right. And if you're looking to make changes in your life, you feel stuck, this is the Archangel that will help you. And finally, Metatron, whose name different from the others. I mean, all the names are different, aren't they? I mean, it's made up in a different way from the others. And this is because he is the one at the very top. Before I knew anything about the archangels or the signs or the associations between them or how they worked, I was learning Reiki and wanted something nice to put on my letterheads and to put on my leaflets and stuff. And I chose a picture of this angel because I felt it's kind of an angelic energy around me, and I felt very attracted to those purpley colours when I started working with Reiki, and could see them with my eyes shut when I was giving people Reiki, so it seemed important in some way. And then when I learned more about this and discovered who he was, I was quite enchanted to discover that this is the Archangel for Pisces, because Pisces is my rising sign. And it kind of said to me, the thing that you all know anyway is that you're attracted to things of your own energy, even if you don't know that they are of your own energy. It all kind of works together beautifully, doesn't it? And it was just another little piece of evidence, nice evidence. This Archangel, particularly impressive to encounter because the others, although they are big and awesome and amazing, look small in the presence of Metatron. He's like the giant of giants, and he sends healing down the whole tree. So his energy is very powerful and very pure, and the colour that we associate here is white, and the purpley colours of the crown chakras, you know, the high energy. And this Archangel works through compassion and love. They all work through compassion and love, but this is just pure love, full stop. You know, there's no explanation or specialist area. It's just about love, which is what chi energy, magical energy, life energy is, isn't it? It is love. And so it kind of comes from the top of the tree and works its way all the way down the tree to, at the bottom, Sandalphon, closest to us at Earth, and is poured down upon us here at Earth. And Pisces is the sign that has a lot of compassion and a lot of understanding for others, sometimes to their detriment because sometimes they get worn out with it, and at other times they have a lot to give, helping us and doing the jobs that other people can't handle or don't want to do. Sometimes Pisces seems to have the roughest journey in life, but that's because, or that's what I have led to believe, is because they have big hearts, and so they are able to give that little bit more. Well, we won't be doing that. And that's me. That's some stuff about me. That address is about to change because I've got an eclipse happening right on my sun. So it's a major time of change for me. But probably that's where I'll be until the end of October, I reckon. And then I'll be in another part of Blackpool. I'm always easy to find because I'm advertising myself all over the place. If you're on the internet, you'll see my number and my address and my name. And I'm always teaching these kind of things and promoting this and that. So there's no escape from me. I hope that this has been a little bit helpful. I hope that this full moon and eclipse brings positive changes in your life. Thank you for listening to me.
For your diary, the British Constitution group just underwent a major revamp. Their first... did you get me best side then?
No. I got A side.
This is the